So we should be live. Yeah. Should be live. Okay, plug them off, yeah. Looks correct. Okay. All right, waiting for people to come, and then we start. Let's see what's going on in HS. Dennis is there. Okay. Hello, Mr. Falcon. Good evening. Okay, let's see. Okay. There is FIDE World Cadet Chess Championship, which starts in 2 days. Very interestingly, Endless versus Proteges tournaments. There's currently European Universities Chess Championship Rapids, Chinese National Games Finals, Hungarian Super League. Okay. Yeah, but after the Grand Swiss, there are not that many events, yeah. So the next big, huge FIDE event is the World Cup, actually. It's the FIDE World Cup. There is a whole bunch of open tournaments, actually, very interesting. A lot of tournaments. No, thank you. Hey, Mr. Montserrat. So, today is the event for subscribers only. The events that I'll be running from now on will be only for my subscribers, okay? The team events for our club, they will be open to everybody, of course. But the events only will be for subscribers. Yeah, I know the economy is terrible and everything, but I kind of need to pay my rent also. So sorry about that. Okay. If you're my member, then you probably know the code for the events. It's the same code, right? So you can use the same code to join the event. Today is the thematic tournaments, and today we're gonna play Jobava London system. Yeah, so we're gonna learn how to play it, okay? We're gonna practice and learn a little bit about it and play it. Arsenal Van Ricci is here. The link to the tournament is at the top of the chat, as usual. You can click. Hello, Arsenal. Use the same code to join the event. Yep. For some reason, it's the tournament asked me for the code today in a different setting. I'm not sure. Did you have to use the code to join the event? Okay, good. And it works. All right, let's see. Mr. Monservata, are you gonna play? You're just gonna watch today? It's gonna be 2 hours. Pretty sure we'll have more people join and play. That's totally understandable. And thank you for coming here. Undoubtedly, you watched the Queen's Gambit in a family setting. I mean, I wouldn't call it a kid-friendly show, but it's very close, yeah? Should be like under 16 or something. Arsenal Fanrich, you haven't watched the show? Are you kidding me? Grab the girl of your dreams and watch it together. That's the only way to do it. You're watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Okay, why not? Sure thing. I've never watched it myself, but I watched some Vampire Diaries for sure. And I watched Star Trek. I mean, now I've sadly watched the total, there is no other word for it, but the total perversion of the Foundation books by the series creators. If you read the books, then you know that Beta is actually the one who actually killed the mule, and she was the hero. Here, the book White Girl Hero was made into a TV show villain, so that the black girl hero, which didn't exist in the book, would fight her, which is absolute perversion. They made the show again all about the racial stuff, which is absolutely wrong message, considering what the books were about. I don't care what they did with the Empire. I mean, the Empire was
10, 9, 8,
absolutely
7,
meaningless in the books,
6,
so
5,
they can do whatever.
4,
But
3, 2, 1, 0.
All right, black to move. You cannot enter the tournament because you don't have the code and because you're not my subscriber. These events are for my subscribers only. Stranger Things is actually not bad. I can recommend, yeah. I actually watched all of them. So that's definitely not bad. Yeah, this is very interesting. Probably this. I know that white sometimes allows black to, you know, change the pawn structure, but okay. But why I cannot take this pawn? Because now I have this. Yeah, it's actually, if you can protect this pawn, it's actually not that bad. HS Lover, use the same code to join the event. Vampire Diaries look cool. Watch X-Files. Yeah, well, X-Files like ancient, man. Ancient stuff. Okay, when you have extra material, it's a good idea to trade. Trades. That one, I think it's... I'll win at What was that? Chess Lover subscribers Prime, thanks man. Thanks very much, appreciate it, always. Okay, and it should be active spielen, right? Yeah, so it kind of was very interesting to watch Blue Bomb's Grandmaster's reactions on Blue Bomb getting second place in the Grand Swiss. It was a little bit of fun. Yeah, well, you guys saw the picture when the picture taken the moments before Hans resigned to Geary, yeah? Hans was like devastated. Yeah. I actually annotated this game just yesterday for the Europicheks magazine. If you do not subscribe to Europichek magazine and if you live in Europe, you're not supporting my cause, I would strongly advise you to subscribe to the magazine because you're gonna get quality stuff from me. Okay. How do I protect this pawn? Queen a3 probably, actually. Because I need to control a lot of squares. I also included some extremely important points in this game which I felt that a lot of commentators missed because they were rushing to get the material out before everybody else. So I've looked at quite a few commentaries of that critical game and I've noticed that the job was not as good as should have been. So I made sure that, you know, I've done the better job. So once again, if you're not subscribed to Europichek magazine, I don't get anything from you subscribing to it, okay? But I do have a column there, and I did the annotations, which I felt was pretty good. Normally I don't toot my horn, but I felt like I did a really good job this time. All right. Well, for one thing, he completely misplayed the opening. But it was Geary's mastermind who thought of all these details, yeah. He picked the opening, he guessed Hans' reaction, he guessed the line, the ending, and he took the plans, and the position looks drawish, but this was a modern version of this game was a modern version of the legendary Lasker versus Capablanca exchange variation game in Spanish. Okay, it was almost the same. Remember how when Lasker went for the exchange variation, everyone was saying, but that is a draw, why would you play that? Yeah. And then he won the game, and everybody went like, oh, now we understand. Yeah. Yeah, I said that this is the reason why I left the opening position, the starting position, the way it is, because you don't have to play d5. Yeah, you can go for g6 and play the peers. That's fine. Just so you be aware, like black has so many choices on the second move. d5 is not the only move. Terrible. Well, you're still playing one of the strongest grandmasters in the world, man. I'm not gonna take it easy on you just because you are a member of my club or even my supporter. Yeah. Yeah. You missed some chances in the game, by the way. You could have given me a check with the queen on e7, and after bishop e2, that bishop is pinned, and I have problems actually castling. Okay, you should definitely. So your rook doesn't have e8 check, but you have queen on e7 that can do a check. At some point, when I took on d4 with the queen, you could do the rook e8 check because my queen is unprotected. So I cannot take your rook with my knight because you capture my queen on d4. Okay, so I gave you some chances in this game. So what's important is now that you analyze the game yourself and make sure to understand the key moments, the moments where you made a mistake and what you could have done better, okay? And learn from it. Well, yeah, that is another thing. Learning the time management is one of the hardest things to do in chess. Even the grandmasters have not fully managed that. Everybody struggles with it, yeah. But again, there are positions, moments in the game, in every game, which I consider critical. And they're critical because you're facing a fork or sometimes three-way choices. You can lead the game forward. Yeah. So it is absolutely critical the decision that you make must be the best informed one. So those are the moments where you're like only learning the game or you've played it a little, you don't normally feel, yeah. It feels like nothing different from the rest of the game. But once you get more experience, you start to learn to recognize these moments and pay attention to them, okay? Let me check. I didn't go into specifics on the openings much. I went more into the let's see. You're talking about this one, yeah? G5 here. I really don't think he considered it. But there's several ways to develop this bishop. You can castle. You can put this bishop onto long diagonal like this. Maybe there was something like queen e4. But g5 is third line. I can see it. And well, I can tell you if Hans had played it, he would definitely do better than what he did in the game for sure. Because what he did in the game is absolutely the worst he could do. This was his worst game in a long time, okay? And he knows it, okay? So what happened this game was Geary, master psychologist, he calculated, like he approximated how his opponent would think, react, and he played this, he chose on this line, okay? This is the, in the end, this end game, only white is playing for a win. Black can never play for a win, and black is sort of passive, okay? This is not what a player like Hans can tolerate. He is an extremely active player. He needs action, some dynamics, something. Here he is defending and is completely dependent on decisions of his opponent. So he can only react to them. And he absolutely hates this. And when you hate something, it's very difficult to play the game. So that was the beauty of Geary's opening choice. Okay, as I mentioned in my comments, this was extremely shrewd psychological choice by Geary because he is an extremely experienced player. Correct, Mr. Chess Lover, correct. I've actually won some games with a pair of bishops like that. There was this game that I remember which was really aesthetic, gave me a lot of pleasure. Was against Conrad Holt from the US Championship. I was playing white, I think. I was playing Reti. And it was two, domination of pair of bishops and rook and king versus rook, bishop and knight and king. And it was the same amount of material. I think I analyzed that game somewhere, but don't remember where. Probably it's in my book, okay? If you have my books, then it's there for sure. So you can go over that game and experience the power of the pair of bishops. Again, for your viewing pleasure. And that was, yes, I think that was also part of my Chess Command Games series, correct. Yeah. Well, the thing is, Hans is still very young. Giri is 31. Okay, Giri got like maybe another good 4 or 5 years, which is 2 or 3 more chances, probably 2 more chances to play for the candidates. But Hans is only starting, yeah. So he has like at least 5, 6, yeah. So in the end, yeah, so, okay, what did I play? I think I played d5 here, yeah. Alright, so there are several ways for black the way I play it. I can play it like c6, and then g6, which is Grunfeld Slav. Then, if you guys remember, I played a6, c5 against the Indian guy, like in the spring, during our thematic events, Simul's a lot. So let me play this. I think a6 is more principled. You kind of need to remember more stuff. Yeah, the way Bortnik plays, he keeps knight on g1 and he pushes the pawns, and then bishop d3, knight e2. I mean, you can also play that. You can play that too. Sure, the bishop goes. Make sure bishop has the exit strategy. I need to get rid of this guy. And you need to free up the space to remove this thing, because you don't actually want to take it, yeah? You don't want to take that knight. You need a square for your pieces. But this is a pawn. This is a pawn after this check. Or I can play it safe. I can play like this. Sort of safe, yeah. Not exactly safe. So this might be still kind of a problem. But if I play g6, it'll be very difficult to play f6 later. The game is pretty much equal. Pretty much equal. Trying to get rid of his knight. The code is only for subscribers. If you're not a subscriber, it's not intended for you to play here. Okay. This actually is not looking correct. This does not look correct to me, but maybe I cannot use it yet, yeah, but okay, let's see, why not? Because you always try to hit the knight on the rim. Hello. If you play rook ad1 where he's still castling short, sure. The fact that his pawn is on f4 is not critical. Because with my knight in the center, there is very little chance for his attack to succeed. See, his knight only has like square on g6, yeah? And then what? He still needs to open the files to get to my king. It's not that easy to do that. The reason you lost this game is because after f6, you did not think of your knight exit strategy. Instead, you should have played knight d3, knight f2, and exchanged my strong horse, okay? That's what you should have done. Remember how I told you guys, look for strong pieces that your opponent has and either get rid of them or trade them, okay? You need to eliminate your opponent's best pieces. Especially if they're in the center. Naturally, if the opponent has like very strong bishop, you cannot really eliminate it if you don't have the opposing bishop, yeah? Then you need to think of like what else you can do. C5 is very interesting. Ah, okay. There is such a line, yeah. I don't know that. To be honest, I don't know this line, but I remember seeing it before. I remember seeing it before. You cannot castle because of 94. Okay, that's the problem. That is the main problem. I don't like this move, but it's practical, so let's play it. Mr. Coffee, good evening. Since you're my subscriber, you can join the event. Pawn. Yeah, pawns are good, man. Pawns are important in chess. Pawns are the souls of chess. This is kind of weird. Can you play knight e4? Probably. Let's protect the stuff. That looks correct. This looks correct. And so does this, yeah? I mean, there should be a reason why this rook is not bad here. Challenging your piece presence there. Rook takes or pawn takes? Good questions. I don't know. I'll take with the pawn. The reason I'm happy is because now I have the square. But you have that move. That is true. Yeah, maybe I should have taken with the rook. I was thinking about it. To meet b5 with a4. It's probably a better way to do this. Okay. That train has left the station, yeah. So let's seek for a new possibility. This knight is pretty bad. This bishop needs to be dealt with. Okay, chess lover, jump in. It's the middle of the week, probably everybody's at work, yeah? And I'm actually thinking this move. Sure, I can take with a rook, but maybe I should take it with a knight. And hit the bishop, yeah? Or the knight can go here. Why not? You see how I slowly pushing your pieces away from good squares? And then maneuvering with my pieces to some interesting locations, yes? Make sure not to blunder the knight. attack this. Hey, Mr. E. Atan. It's cool. Yeah, rook b4. Yeah, taking on h5 is probably wrong, but yeah, that's why he castles, so after h6 you can leave the bishop on this diagonal. But the problem is your knights are being pushed around. King e1 is very hard to find. Very, very difficult move. Yeah, white's probably better. Yeah. You thought we were better? After what moment? After rook b1? Maybe after rook b1. But I don't think you were better. No, rook b1 is main move actually. And white is always a little bit better. White is better because you played with your queen too much in the opening, okay? How can you be better? And then you spend so many moves with your queen only to trade it on my queen. So you cannot be better. You gave me so many tempos. Alright, Arsenal. See you later, man. Oh, good for you. Good for you. Not everybody is a genius like you, man. Gotta live with that. I know it's hard, but you have to. That is the problem with bishop on f4. If black gets c5, sometimes the pawn moves forwards and hits the other bishop. Okay, extra piece for 2 pawns. Pretty good. Outcome out of the opening. So now there is a conversion factor. It shouldn't be too difficult. Once king is safe. You missed b4 and you take back your bishop. I blundered. Do you see it? b4 and then you grab the bishop. Can't believe I blundered like that, but okay, that happens. Lately, more often than not, blundering elementary tactics. I see complicated lines and blunder more elementary tactics. Okay, but mate on one thread. I'm still not that old. Rooks should be on the 2nd and 7th line. We know that, yes. I know you guys know that. Yeah, there's too many blunders. Too many blunders. GG. No, but you blundered and then I blundered. It happens, man. You're getting older. Yeah, this system with the idea of trading the bishops immediately is one of the unpleasant things for black in Pierce. You like really gotta know what you're doing here with black, or you risk getting to worse position. The good thing about Jobava opening is that black cannot play King's Indian, yeah? It will be Pierce. And you better know Pierce if you play it. Knight g4 is pretty ancient move. I'm not sure. Can't help you there. This looks like Dutch, but it's not Dutch. It's not really Dutch, yeah. It's not Dutch. Sorry, but this is the Dutch that I usually try to avoid with black. I beat Kasparov only once, but Karpov I beat actually many times. I think I beat him at least like 7 times, but Kasparov only once. Kasparov was super difficult opponent for me, because he just hammered on my opening weakness. I keep getting terrible positions out of the opening against him. Once I learned to survive that, however, things were getting better for me. Well, you allow the knight here, which I don't think you should, because your bishop is kind of important. You give me the pawn. Why? Right, we have 4 people in the tournaments. Where are all my subscribers? What happened? Well, in the US it's only 6:24, yeah? I mean 4:24 p.m. only. They're probably all finishing work. So, but the European people, where is everybody? Yes, e4 sacrifice is very interesting. I agree. Right, let me grab some food. Ой, дашь мне игрушку, там у тебя была игрушка.
Да, хорошо, сейчас делаю свою игрушку.
Что я засыпаю? Как всегда, в шахматы начинаю играть, сразу засыпаю.
Сейчас рано.
Ой, шоколадки, наверное, нету, да?
Сейчас возьму.
Шоколадка тоже есть, да? А, спасибо. So tomorrow there is a huge strike in France. The airplane strike is averted. They said that they will postpone it, but the railroads and a lot of things will be closed. So I don't know what's gonna happen. Hopefully, because I live in a small city, is not going to be affected as much. Magic, you have subscribed. My God, what did you do? What did you do? If you want to play in the tournament, you'll need code. You can get the code from these guys in the tournaments. You can message them for the code, or you can message me and I'll tell you. Then you can join the events and have fun. Yeah. We use same code for all subscriber events. I mean, I'm too lazy to change it. So. Yeah, black is completely winning, yeah. Completely winning. The only question is how. Where is the mate, man? Yeah, of course you don't need the mate. Yeah, so write me from your Lichess account. We can see that boards. You can't see the board. Yeah, that's true. That is true. But now you can. You play this pre-move. Well, that's something you'll have to learn how to not do, because imagine you go play chess OTB, you play e4, and then tell your opponents, and here I make a pre-move d4. So you play d4 as well. And now your opponents can play d5 and then pre-move d takes e4. Yeah, or knight f6, knight takes c4. Yeah. Okay, yeah, because normally the position starts with white to move, but we need to break the monotone, yeah? So this tournament, it's black to move. To make things interesting and not the same. To keep the things interesting. Well, Magic, you don't have to play if you don't want to. I mean, there's also this move, yeah. And if e4, then d5 transposition to a French thing. But maybe I can play this. Maybe I can play Nibzo. I hate sleeping. How can you hate sleeping? Sleeping is so good, man. Especially when you're tired, sleeping is like. On the other hand, I'm behind in the development. That is true. I'm way behind in the development. That's why I played this move, trying to tactically resolve my issues with the development, which probably will not work. But I can try, you know. All a man can do is try. e4. e4 is very risky. It is playable. Damn. Somehow I'm very tired. That sounds like a very strenuous.
Ладно, далеко горячий.
Спасибо.
Я не горячий.
Well, Mr. Gurdur, that sounds like extremely intense schedule. But if you can keep up with it, why not? Yeah. If you can keep up with it, then why the hell not? Alright, let me get some chocolates. Oh, I'm really gonna fall asleep here. Not bad. You almost got me at some point. Some point your position was much better actually. Oops. Who did I play? Oh, I didn't play. Oops, sorry. Sorry. You didn't have any feel for what to do there because it was kind of a mutual zugzwang situation. I couldn't move any piece and you couldn't move any piece either. It's kind of, there are some games like that, which is extremely weird. All right, Mr. Magic, let's go. Спасибо, роднулька моя.
Нам больше
Фух. Chocolate. Try not to move same piece in the opening more than once. Your other pieces need development too. Maybe it's not bad, but when you play moves like this, you need to be extremely accurate in your calculation. Giving up the bishop is definitely not the correct feeling I get. This was kind of important bishop. It's kind of an important bishop. And maybe I can do a taste of your own medicine, yeah? Do this thing. What was my training before I had to become a GM? Not as difficult as Mr. Bortnik's, for sure. But the most work I ever done on chess was probably when, during my candidates. When I qualified to the candidates, that's when the work really started. But okay, thinking about it now that I did have some coaches before and there was some training. Probably less during the events, but yeah, there definitely were some training regimens. But my father mostly focused on the physical aspect, so lots of running, exercising, that kind of stuff, which is obviously good. Good for your body, yeah. The famous proverb says, in healthy body resides a healthy spirit. Okay. So, I hope you all agree with that. Yeah, chess sometimes is really weird, but you know, you have to expect it. Yeah, it's like a birthday present. You never know what it is. Gypsy, thank you for subscribing, man. It's been a long time. Dude, you can still play in our event if you know the code, yeah? I'm sure one of our subscribers can share that code with you. Or if you wait a little bit, I can also give it to you. So the king is traveling to the center because king is very strong endgame piece, okay? The less pieces are on board, the stronger the king becomes. And in the endgame, king is one of the strongest pieces actually. So mistreat the king at your own risk, Mr. King. But this rook endgame is not gonna be easy for you, because the rook on the 7th, the legendary rook on the 7th, cutting off your king. See? This is the very standard but also very effective way. Two rooks are incomparable. So in addition to this thematic tournament, you also get to play and end games and mill games, which are critical. Right, send me a message on LeChess and I'll send you the code. I'll have to turn the dark screen so nobody can steal the code. Yeah. Or you can ask the chess lover, he knows the code. Gypsy, thank you for... Thank you for gifting 5 tier 1 subs to the community, man. All of you subs. And 2 more times. Disco. Love the music. Well, okay, it's kind of fun, yeah. Retro. Ooh. All right, thank you, guys. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Those of you who got gift subs, you can play the tournaments if you want to, but you'll need the codes. Catch you next time. Thank you, buddy. Thanks very much. If you want the code, if you can play the tournaments, you know what to do. Press that message button, send it to me, and receive the code. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you so much, man. We're inching closer to 100 subscribers. My God. Thank you. Thank you for every sub. That really helps me. considering that my last student has graduated from my studies and I don't have students anymore. Speaking of the students, the September discount still active for my subscribers. The $100 lesson per hour, which usually you get, is now at 50% discount. So it's only $50 per hour for personal lesson with me. We can play a game, we can look at your game, we can discuss some opening, you know, play blitz, rapids, whatever you want. Gypsy, oh my god, you gifted tier 10 tier 1 subs to the community? Wow. That is a lot. Thank you so much, man. Jesus. My god. My god, thank you. Wow. 92, yeah, 92 subs. I think it's mostly thanks to your efforts, man. Every time you come in and you give those subs, I notice my bar like moving noticeably closer. Yeah. Well, I thank you for thinking of me as being a top streamer, man. Thank you. I'm not young, I'm not pretty, I am not, you know, the modern age requirement of being a successful streamer. But thank you. Thank you for keeping that hope alive that I might be relevant as dinosaur in this modern world. Thank you. Okay. Dinosaurs, fight back. Yes. Yeah. Really? On which platform, or is it OTB? I hope it's OTB. Yeah, if you do have time playing chess, it should be OTB, man, for sure. For sure. King is 6. Nice. See, guys, how this guy, he brought his king here. Let me show you. See? Rook is blockading, but Rook is a terrible blockader. So what he does is he makes his king here, and now his Rook is free to wreak havoc on White's position. Okay? You got it? This is what you should do in your games. Bring your king, blockade, free the Rook. Okay? Pretty much it. Alright, thank you so much, man. If you gotta run, you gotta run. We got it. Hey, random. You can still join the event. The code is working forever from the previous events. You know, it's kind of curious, you know, all these guys who got the subs thanks to this gift from Gypsy, I think they're all sleepers. Alright, man. Sure thing. Got around kids to the activities. Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely. Yeah. I think teaching kids to play chess is good in general, but the professional life is a completely different question. Okay, but teaching kids chess is very good, and it goes back to something me and my wife were attending today. There was this question of stability being considered as part of the importance of why chess is so good. And in my view, chess kind of stabilizes the unstable minds. All right, it gives them some balance, some guidelines, not by preaching, but by actually giving the guidelines, and they have to actually play the games and follow them and learn. Okay, So it's a little bit easier to live in the world where there are some clear rules, especially when you're a kid. All right. Great, thanks, Shaslover. All right, let's go back to the tournaments. We have 5 people in. And we have a hype chest. What is it? Open. What kind of treasures we get? We get a choo-choo. What? Choo-choo? They ate? They ate choo-choo? Is that thing she eats is a choo-choo? My God. What an animation. Wow, we have actually new subs speaking. I thought most of you guys are like silent lurkers or worse, bots. There's so many bots these days everywhere on every platform. It would be pretty sad if the gift subs go to some bots, you know. It would be a very sad day indeed. But glad you're not a bot. So you still have 42 minutes. You can even jump and play in the event if you want. Jump. Are you feeling jumpy? Okay, that's good. Maybe. What's the entry code? Write me a message on Lichess and I will send you the code. Because otherwise we get some people here who are not subscribers and they will join the event and sneak in like Slytherin members. I probably should actually start reading Potter books, yeah. I mean, after all, it's modern classic, yeah. I watched maybe like 2.5 of Potter movies. I did watch a recent Secrets of the Dumbledore, and I watched the Fantastic Beasts. So I kind of like those. So I guess I'll have to go back to the Potter books and movies. Maybe. We'll see. I mean, I've been rereading Sherlock Holmes like every year, almost religiously. Once a year, I reread Sherlock Holmes stories. I don't know why. It's just stability, I guess. Redoing something which stays constant gives some reassurance in this fast-changing world. Subconsciously, maybe. Who knows? All right, where is that message? I don't see a message from anybody requesting any codes. My God. Also, where is Pavel? He's probably busy with his family. I'm very curious that most of my audience, they grown ups with kids, yeah? Man. Although I'm not a big family man myself. I'm not. But I'm very thankful to God that He gave me my wife. Who is the biggest rebel I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. Just sent a message from an account with the name Henry. Henry. Okay. Did you send it to my Lichess account? Because I don't see any. I don't see anything on. See, I'm refreshing my page with the speed of clicking on the mouse once every second. I click 20 times. There's no message. Did you send it to the IGM Gata Kamsky on Lichess? That's pretty odd, yeah. I mean, it should show up, yeah. I'm opening the messages. It's not there. Huh. Okay, I'll send the link to my profile so you can send me a message to the chat. If you want the code to play in this tournament, send me a link by clicking on the profile and sending a message. Otherwise, enjoy the show. Huh? You gave me a what? Yeah, this rook endgame is very interesting. Obviously, it should be winning for whites, yeah. But black rooks are very, very active. There is a plan in this madness if white wants to win. But it's not going to be an easy, one. You have to think of the whole board, okay? To find the idea. And one of the ideas, the concepts that I always guys advise you to look for in chess, is the concept of the weakest, the strongest piece, and most relevant piece, and improvements of your not relevant piece to a status of the most relevant piece in this game. Okay? It's called improving your pieces. That is like a forever element of chess. It will be always a good strategy. And let me check the message. What is this thing? I don't have the message, man. It's pretty weird. What is your Lichess nickname? Can you give me... no, okay, that's a challenge. Give me a Lichess nickname. Henry is 222. Okay. I see you. Okay. I'll send you a message, man. Give me a second. All right, send you a message. Yeah. Very interesting rook end game. Very, very interesting. Yeah. I must admit I've never seen this particular endgame, but I think white should be winning. I think white is winning here. Yeah, white is definitely winning, but okay. And correct, yes. The correct plan, very good. Yeah, black was way too passive. He should not have allowed this pawn on f6 because he is now lost, yeah. Very good job, Mr. Magic. Wait, what? Oh my God, you lost this. Oh my God. Oh my God, how can you possibly, what happens? How did you manage to lose? You didn't queen your pawn? That was the whole point. That was the whole point, man. You queen your pawn, win the rook, and you win the game. With this move, you actually lost the game. Oh my God. Jesus Christ, man. Magic. You are extremely dangerous person for my health. Ugh. You know, when my students do something like this, I swear I lose a year of my life, you know? Oof. And yes, everybody does this sometimes. Everybody does, yeah. Including myself. Okay. How would I know? When I lived in the Soviet Union, I didn't study with the... I know what my father would do to me if I did that. I don't know about the coaches, okay? Maximum they would do is probably yell at you or like, you will no longer be the student, but you don't want to be anywhere near my father. Trust me for that one. Okay. Nobody cares about Gulag. Unless you're a political big shot or something. The only reason they send anybody to Gulag is if you present a danger to the system. If you're not a danger to the system, they don't give a shit. Knight b3 does not seem correct. Okay. Also, how did we get to this? You played knight f3. Yeah. Normally you should keep the center, okay? Either d5 or take, because this is a better version of the Sicilian for black, okay? Although I have to prove it, I agree, it's not easy. I have to prove that it is a good version for black. Maybe I'm over optimistic, who knows? Yeah, maybe I was a little bit too optimistic about black position, but okay, we'll see. Reezy Twizzler, my God, how old are you, man? Gulag is like such an ancient word. It must be at least like as old as I am to even remember this word. Yeah. Nobody uses it in the modern world. In your early 20s. Okay, I have no idea how you came about reading too much, being antisocial or something. Regardless of whatever, you're a dangerous person. So, Citizen Kane, maybe. Level, maybe not. All right, calculation time. Take, and I cannot take because of mate, yeah. Huh. All right. Sounds about right. What else can I do? I can put the bishop here though, yeah. Develop normally. Normally. What is normal? Who knows? Okay, I think bishop e6 is correct. I'm trying to figure out how to resolve the central tension without blundering stuff. You went d4 to e5 play like 2 years ago, not well practiced in the openings. Okay. Was it better to play 10-0 or play 5-0 to improve? Obviously, if you want to improve, it's 10-0. Yeah, do I want to give you this bishop? Not really. Nah. Fine. Not very happy about this though. Not very happy, but I managed to connect the knights, take away the square, double your pawns. In the long run, and I believe in the long potential run, these double pawns will be good for me. But I have to survive my king here in the center still and your pair of bishops, yeah? So I would say this is a dynamically balanced position. Maybe a little bit better for white because of pair of bishops in the open position. But I should not be much worse. I should be able to defend myself here. It's not going to be easy though. All right, let's win a tempo. Sometimes there are tricks like this and he hits something here, okay? Now we want to really take this. Actually, you allow me to trade you one bishop. You should not allow that, man. You should definitely not allow that to happen. Okay, maybe a bishop is not that good anyway, so. Avoiding the pin, protecting this pawn and protecting this pawn. The queen on c7 is at best. Is on the best square in this position, okay? Rejoice. The queen has arrived to the optimal square in this position. So the way I approach is I'm looking like for the spaces most optimal for my pieces. f4 is trying to open the rook. At the same time, he's giving me this pawn. I'm very happy about getting a pawn, that's for sure. I am a pawn grabber. Pawn grabbers forever. Yeah, okay. Yes, obviously. Yeah, sacrifice a pawn to improve the knight and grab the bishop. Logical, but a pawn is, this pawn especially is a huge thing, okay? Because that means my king is not in danger anymore. Getting mated. d4 to e4. Yes, Mr. Degen, but you know, I have this move also, yeah? I can kick this bishop out with my knight. That horsey jumps quite a lot. And we got the follows, yeah? That's the follows, right? There is a terrible Davis has followed. Thanks very much for the follows. Okay, let's grab this bishop. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including double pawns. And now you don't have pair of bishops, and in fact, I have queen and knight versus queen and bishop, which is my favorite combination. I love queen and knight versus queen and bishop. They're so mobile. Knight jumping, light, dark, etc. Central knight also. Also, thanks to this pawn. Do you think knight looks good on e3? What do you think, guys? I think the knight looks there so good. But now we also have potentially f3 and opening the king, right? So you see, that's what I'm playing. Every move that I make serves a certain purpose, okay? Developing the queen to optimal position, kicking his bishop out, getting my king safe now that the pawn is here, getting this pawn to move either further or utilize this pawn to protect the knight. Okay? Every move makes another move possible. So what does it mean? You have to look at the current position that you have and play the current position. Right? Don't think about what happened in the past. Okay? You have to deal with what you have right now, with the time amount that you have right now. Okay? It's not easy sometimes, but you gotta do this. Okay. All right, Mr. Itan, you from Europe, it's time to sleep. 11 o'clock in the evening, time to sleep. Yes, I understand. Actually, there are a lot of businessmen who go to sleep at 11 and wake up at 4 or 5 a.m. Yeah. Yes, I have heard of this. There was actually like internet challenge. People wake up at 5 a.m. at the start of their working day. I can't say I woke up at 5 a.m., but I can say that sometimes I went to sleep at 9 a.m. And then I had to wake up at 3 p.m. It's kind of weird lifestyle for sure. Right, bishop on f4, that means you play this move. Don't play e4, because if you play e4, this bishop should not be there. It should be on e3, ready to support e5, f4, because pawns are usually meant to be connected. That's why this pawn is connected to this chain. Okay, so think of the pawns as the pawn chain, not just one pawn by itself. It's fun trying to make reasonable moves while being squeezed, but are you really squeezed? Do you feel like you're really squeezed? Sometimes you can actually love the straights, because then you can go for an attack, yeah? But here, I think bishop g3 is preferable, because every time your black ever takes the bishop, you open the rook and potential attack is possible. There's a potential attack. Also, with the bishop here, black is kind of limited in the development of the rest of his pieces. So I'm not exactly sure what he has in mind. But let's see. Yeah. So the normal developments, eyeing this pawn, protecting potential pawn expansion in the center. Yes, quite a few people play this in the blitz game, but if you notice, not a lot of them play this in a serious game. Right, a3 looks reasonable. Take away knight b4 and bishop b4 ideas. So again, for improvements, I'd recommend longer time controls. However, if you want to practice specific opening or something, then there is nothing wrong with blitz. Okay. I hope that was helpful. E5. Alright, that move makes sense. If I play this. Which is not the best move, of course. Yeah, he managed to get e5 and yeah, rook e8. Yeah, that was a problem. I agree, that was the problem. And I'm setting up a devilish trap, and let's see if he's gonna fall into it. I calculated a brilliant line in my humble opinion. A brilliant trap. Let's see. Oh, come on, you see it, yeah. Oh, you spoiled my fun play. Naughty. You're such a naughty person, you know that? Alright, then I can play d5. Then I can play d5. I'm not very happy about it, but okay. It's better than exchanging and allowing this stupid bishop getting exchanged, and then you get the center. This way, at least knight cannot go here. He has to do something ridiculous. And also the bishop remains here to protect this guy. I don't know for how long, but it's relevant. Okay, and how do we play here? Probably just castle. Probably just castle. Or you can play e4 and just fix this pawn structure in the center. I think e4 is more accurate. I was thinking here that maybe I can play this move. But maybe it's a mistake actually. Okay, we'll see. We will see. This is definitely a mistake. Just blundering. You're blundering a pawn, man. Because of the pin. You see it, yeah? No, but now this is hanging. Every move has a purpose, remember? Yeah. The interconnection of moves, parts of the plan, bigger picture, calculation. That's the whole point. There is no move by itself. It's always bigger part. All right. So tomorrow we're probably gonna have this weekly team event. It's gonna be open to everybody. Again, we'll be trying to get our team out of the gutter, which is in the 5th level league. And The idea is that we push it towards the first league where you get the strongest opponents. So it's good for you guys. Okay, it's always a good idea to play stronger opponents so you can learn. And then what? Then probably I'll see you guys only on Saturday, because Saturday and Sunday, yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Because this team event is on Thursdays and on Saturdays. Again, if we get our club rolling, maybe we can do some stream battles like we used to during the COVID years, yeah. But first we need to get more active subscribers, okay? Before we do that. And then think about potential potential streamers who want to do the sub battle versus. I know that Morozevich will probably be most likely to agree because he's an old friend, and he's very difficult to get access to, I know, for a lot of people. But I think if we ask him, he will be agreeable, and you'll get a very rare chance to hear him commentate the stream battles live. But that's like in the long plan. Then we'll also invite some other streamer Grandmasters colleagues, maybe even Grandmaster Pakliza, maybe even Grandmaster Dojo, some European colleagues like Mr. Bakro maybe, or other streamers. We will also consider, of course, women streamers as well. I'm pretty sure if we do that, it will be only fair that if my wife also will take part in these events. So you guys, you must realize I am a streamer, but my wife is a large part of my life. She is also, of course, part of our club and streamer. And if not in actual, but in spirit, okay? So she will definitely be able to do the battle streams with us. So we'll see. But first we need to kind of grow our sub base, yeah, in our club, so we get more people. All right. Yes, I know the COVID years are gone. People are now doing lots of different things. A lot of people are streaming so many real life events, walking different cities, tasting different wines. I know. They're all like playing all sorts of events, all sorts of streamers, young, old, kids, ancients, etc., etc. Yeah, I know. Life is completely different from the COVID years. In the COVID years, there were like very few streamers, I think. Yeah, but now like there are a lot of streamers. Yeah. I'm not looking to compete with all these guys, obviously. I'm just doing my thing. Try to teach you my vision of chess, make you all a little bit stronger. Doesn't always necessarily work, I know. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, we're not getting paired. It's very interesting. Let's watch the game then. G6. Ooh. A big red herring for the bull. Yeah. White is not falling for it though. White is playing strategically. Okay. Because in this strategy battle, the bishop on G7 is not that great. I mean, in general, in any close position, the bishops are not that good. And the problem for black in this position is that you have pair of bishops, but again, close position and no targets for the bishops, okay? But for white, the problem is if he wants to improve his position, he will need to open the position somewhere at some point, yeah? And so it's a long maneuvering battle, white preparing to open up the position, black is placing optimally his pieces and trying to prevent white's plans. So this is why I absolutely love playing close positions, because it becomes so much a psychology game. B3. Why would you play B3 here? And A4. Very interesting. A5 is very logical. This knight has several squares. You can put him here on B6, or you can play A5 and put him on F6, okay? Pluses and minuses, obviously, for both developments. Yeah, this is more like a Dutch defense, to be honest, okay? And I'm a big fan of Dutch defense, of course. In fact, those of you who followed the Grand Swiss, they've noticed that Ali Reza, in his last round game with black against super solid blue baum, played the Dutch defense and easily equalized from the opening with black, okay? I'm pretty sure he was thinking that Dutch defense will be a huge surprise, but unfortunately, what he didn't know is that Blue Baum has a Keimer who is a teammate of his and mine, and I played quite a few Dutch games with Keimer. And Blue Baum played what Keimer played against me, obviously. So he was familiar with Dutch defense, at least some lines. Nevertheless, black managed to equalize and play for an advantage. Yeah? And Dutch defense actually is enjoying a resurgence of popularity, which I'm very happy for, because the opening is extremely aggressive. It's also highly resistant to how to say this, forced analysis lines, okay? There are very few forced lines in the Dutch defense. There's always more strategic aspect to it. Yes, Mr. Random DGN, and that's how I arrived at Dutch too. I played Grunfeld because I learned it when Kasparov played it. Then I slowly switched to the King's Indian, and I played a lot of Slavs mixed with dark squared bishop fianchetto. So eventually, my thinking realized that if you play King's Indian and you play those structures where you take on d4 and then you try to play f5 pawn break, okay, then why the hell don't you want to play f5 Dutch defense, then take on d4 and play those structures, because you already win the tempo and you already have a 5 on board, okay? I mean, once that idea hit me, I was so happy. I realized the Dutch defense is essentially an improved King's Indian. That's what it is. Okay. You found out about my channel through Penguin. Yeah, Penguin has been pretty impressive lately and quite popular. Yeah. I think Magnus thinks very highly of him, not the least because Penguin was a famous bullet master from Lee Chess. You know, gave Magnus a run for his money at some point. Pretty sure. And the second thing, he's an American. While now I consider myself a French dude, I obviously still have American past, and I love the US, but the older US, the one that I arrived to when I was younger, not the current USA, to be honest. What is the difference? The title, the requirements. There's so many things to consider when you compare them. There are a number of people who have tried to achieve the Grandmaster title their entire lives and never could get the title. Okay. For the Americans, it's especially a big problem because they don't have a lot of tournaments. There actually have been quests with the American Grandmaster hopefuls that would travel to Europe to play in a series of open tournaments in hope to score a GM norm. And some did that successfully, completed that quest. Some did not. But if you want to be a GM, you definitely will have to move to Europe. That's what Hans Niemann did. Okay, his rating was like 2400 or something, and he moved to Europe and he studied hard. He found some Eastern European coaches, also pretty useful because they work, those kind of work for cheap. Okay, you're not gonna find cheap coaches in New York City, for example, right? I mean, you can all agree with me on that. But the Eastern European coaches, they can work with you like $20 an hour. Very good coaches. Yeah, they can do a really good job improving your chess. And they will work with you all the way, doing your openings, you know, giving you the lines, working on your end games, etc., etc., etc. Okay, and that's what Hans did, and his rating jumped like 150 or 200 elo points after 1 year in Europe. He learned, he practiced, and look at him here. He almost qualified for the candidates. He was playing in the Grand Swiss in the finals. He lost the game because of the lack of experience and got tricked by Anish Giri and lost the game. But he came very, very close. To reach Master or Grandmaster isn't all about talent. Nope, it's a lot of work, man. There is always work involved, whatever you do, man. There is no such thing as like no work. I mean, I don't know a single profession where you can do no work and become a pro about it. The only pro you'll become about is about being unprofessional. That's about it. Yeah, but it's already, the tournament is over, man. Alright guys, thank you for coming. We have 6 people. We even got Chess Lover to join our events. for a little bit. And yeah, magic, you're not bad. You're doing something wrong, but okay, you're doing something right too. Right, gentlemen, thank you for coming. The plan is tomorrow, usually it's 8 p.m. French time. There is the team event, okay? Open to everybody. It's not a sub event. On Saturday, it will be the same team event, normally, at another 8 p.m. There are no currently elite tournaments in progress, so no recaps, but on Sunday, it's a Fisher Chess Day for the subs. So last time, I think I did the arena, so this time it will be a simul, okay? I try to alternate simuls with arenas, okay? Like today is the arena day, but next week, Wednesday, will be classical chess simul for my subs, okay? So, all right, so I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 for the team event, all right? And thank you for coming. Thank you for support. Gypsy, you're the man. And those who subscribed, you guys are awesome. And I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.